Alright, first off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom. This is Brother Aram from a Jamaica camp. Come with another quick lesson. This one is going to be mainly from an article, and it just goes to show that all these laws, people see the NIDS here in Jamaica and think that it's crafted by your government, by the Jamaican government, when really it's based on the UN agenda once more, sustainable development, Vision 2030, Agenda 21, whatever you want to call it, all the same thing, and they're moving towards that goal. Even some of the things that relate to C19, the vaccine, everything that they're doing is geared towards it. Even the NIDS is funded by the World Bank and the I think it's the Inter-American Development Bank as well. I did a lesson on it a while back that it also tells who is funding it. It's not based on your government, right? It's about bringing in that universal ID, bringing in that universal economy, all these things, and the C19 and the vaccine and the RFID chip, it's all linked. That is why they're trying to get what the NIDS is what it's an ID that's backed by a digital platform, so it's basically a digital ID. Now I'm about to read this article as well. I'm going to give some quick recap. A while back, when COVID just started, the prime minister said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste," and that's a quote by an international bank. I don't remember who it was. Maybe I can search for it after this. And it's really a part of the order out of chaos. Now, when he was at first when they presented NIDS, the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional, and they went ahead, they did a reform, and now they're presenting it back to the house, right? And at the start of COVID, he was saying that there are government programs and government aids that will be provided, but the process would have been a lot smoother if they had this digital based ID, because then they'll know they were also pushing for everyone to get a bank account. The banks also have went ahead and made it easy for you to open a bank account. I remember which one of the banks did it, but one of them was saying that you only need $100, 100 Jamaican dollars, as well as your ID and your TRN to have to get that account. So they're trying to get everyone on the grid. Now, he was saying that if they had the system set up, then it would have been easier to distribute and have a full grasp and check on who received aid, who didn't, and how to actually get it done. Because one of the arguments with this ID is that you won't have access to government facilities and government aids without this ID. Now let's look at sustainable development goals that will be highlighted here. 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions. We'll see what with my previous videos, you saw where we highlighted that in regards to C19 and vaccine. But not only that, even with the NIDS, identification is also a part of security. Then you have goal 11, which is sustainable cities and communities, right, which have to do with demographics. Goal number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, right? And then you have goal 8, which is decent work and economic growth. Now, once again, they present these things like, yeah, it will be good for the society as a whole, but what they don't tell you is that, if you don't if you don't comply with their standards and based on the rules that they set and want to be hooked up to the grid, then you basically will be locked out, right? So let me search for that quote and then I'll get into the article. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Right, so what was this? Oh, Winston Churchill, right? The devil himself, never let a good crisis go to waste, right? And you can look up that quote, and you can look up things that are associated with it. It's usually order up chaos, order out of chaos. That's usually linked to it. But hey, let's get into the article at hand. Right now, this is from jis.gov.jm, right? And this is from Jamaica Information Services. That's what JIS mean. It's a credible institution out here in Jamaica, and they usually have they have good information. Even with the news, it's actually more in regards to things that are happening within Jamaica. It's more it gives more information than even the regular primetime news. It explains what's going on with various economies, and with the economy, with the politicians, with certain bills, all of that. I remember I used to watch it very often, and it blew my mind of how plain they're telling you, the state of the country and everything. But it has a lot, the way they speak, there's a lot of big words and things like that. The regular Joe will just hear that and really don't understand what they're saying, right? But let me get to the article. Very important. This article says PM, meaning Prime Minister, tables new voluntary NIDS bill, right? Now I'll jump around. You can find the article on your own and go through it in its entirety. It says Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andre Holness, on Tuesday, December 15th, tabled the National Identification and Registration Act 2020, which makes provision for a voluntary and secure national identification system, NIDS or NIDS, for Jamaica, right? Now, I'll jump around. It says, speaking in the House of Representatives, Prime Minister Holness said the identification system has the potential to positively and transform the efficacy and transparency of interactions between the state and citizens and residents, with significant additional positive effects for private businesses. So it's all about bringing to the table, or ensuring that the state will be able to see all these things. It says transparency of interactions between states, citizens, and residents, right? Now it says the bill will serve as the legal basis for the establishment of a robust, efficient, and effective national identification system, underpinned by a legal and regulatory framework that supports safe, secure, reliable verification of identity information for citizens of Jamaica and persons ordinarily residents in Jamaica, Mr. Holness says. Right? So let me go ahead, and it's going to talk about the last bill and other things like that. Right. So it says the policy now provides for voluntary NIDS that will provide a secure, reliable. Remember the goals that I read earlier, right? So it says a secure, reliable, and convenient means of identification of citizens and persons ordinarily resident in Jamaica, and the administrative structure, powers, and functions that are necessary for the establishment and maintenance of such a system. So that's goal 16 right there. Right? Now it says it also provides for a robust and coherent legislative framework to treat with the collection, processing, storage, retention, usage, and protection of personal data, the procedures and systems for identity verification, monitoring and compliance, and an independent oversight body. So you see, all of this, leads back to what? An infrastructure there. So they will do not only that you'll be able to, do transaction and they'll be able to identify what you do, but it also links to what? Them using your information, them storing your information, them monitoring to see if you're in compliance, right? And compliance, you might say, yeah, they want to know if you're doing anything right or wrong. But we know with these times with them and their new norm, you don't know what those conditions are. It's gonna be just to identify that you have taken vaccine, or after a while it's gonna be upgraded to what, the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. It's all within the framework, right? Moving on. It says that he said that only biographic and biometric data that is absolutely necessary to ensure the efficacy of the process will be taken, but they don't say what are those necessary biographics and biometrics, right? They won't say, because the last bill they stated that you'll get your eye scan, your voice scan, as well as your fingerprint, right, to put on this digital ID. All right, it says identifying information is the property of the individual concerned, and their informed consent is required for it to be collected, stored, and used by anyone. The identity information which any individual provides voluntarily must be accorded the strictest level of security, Mr. Olness noted, adding that provisions must be made to restrict unauthorized access by third parties, which, yeah, that's what they'll say, but they'll still end up, selling your information to the highest bidder. Right? Now it says, I wish to emphasize that this bill seeks to improve the efficiency in establishing and verify identity, thereby improving business processes and service delivery, and enhance the government's ability to implement a coherent e-government strategy and support national security, he said. So the first one was goal. Sorry, it was the goal referring to infrastructure and innovation, and this one is for goal 16, which is basically justice, peace, and I think security, right? So it all links, and this is to prove that it all links. He's gonna say it. It says the Prime Minister told the House that promulgation of the act will contribute to the achievement of crucial Vision 2030 goals, including adequate social protection, security and safety, effective governance, and an enabling business environment, a technology-enabled society, and improve national competitiveness. That is, we also did a lesson on Jamaica right? The smart cities, cameras everywhere, this old digital ID and all of that. It's all aimed towards the Vision 2030, which is by the UN, which will ultimately lead to, the new norm, verify whether or not you take vaccine, eventually being upgraded with the chip, which is the RFID microchip. So the NIDS, it's not the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is the RFID chip, right? And this is just a stepping stone. This is just a precursor. But with the new norm that's coming, this is that universal identity, or that universal ID, is going to be key. Also, it will be linked to what? Transactions. As it said, he's talking about the interaction between the state and government, and having tracking certain things. The digital currency is coming next. That is why everyone should have what? A bank account. That is why they're moving towards what? A cashless society. And they're using C19 and Maxine to work with that, to help enable that. So the vision, they're using this pandemic, right, along with their phrase, the new norm, right, to guide everyone towards Vision 2030, and then they'll have the Great Reset, as they put it. So cashless society, a digital society. Even Bill Gates said it in in a video that he recently did, going completely cashless. So they're building a digital or a technological society. That is what it's all been moving towards. That is what Vision 2030 is all about. And if you don't, basically, it's a prison. It's a digital prison, but they present it as if it's something good for the society on a whole, right? Once again, we are not ignorant to Satan's devices. I'll just bring that up before I actually close off. Right? And this is also how we change times and laws. It's an example of him changing laws. This is 2 Corinthians 2 verse 11. It says, "Least Satan should get an advantage over us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And this is one of his devices. This is one of the way he's carrying out his plan, right? As a matter of fact, let me bring out that one as well, the one that I quoted earlier, right? Right, this is Daniel 8 verse 25. It says and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And this Vision 2030, it's a part of his policy, right? He shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, speaking about the so-called white man, and by peace shall destroy many. That is why you see those Vision 2030 goes looking as if it's something peaceful, it's something secure, something for the common good. It's not, right? He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand, right? And that's the thing. When the Lord Yahushua returns, he'll also try to fight against him, but he will lose, right? So this is what you have to watch these devils here. You have to watch and your politicians, they're siding with the enemy, right? So you just have to watch, pray, and move towards the kingdom, right? So with that, hope this was edifying. Once more, to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom.